Hey everybody, good morning. It is a beautiful 12 degrees here in Niagara. It is about 3 days before the end of the year, so unseasonably warm. I thought I would take you guys with me as I take Ralph for a walk through the vineyards here in Niagara. So today what we're going to be talking about is New Year's resolutions and what does that mean when it comes to resilience. So let's just get Ralph coming. Come on, Ralph. All right. So yeah, I did a Google search of the top 10 New Year's resolutions, and I thought to myself, why do people struggle with New Year's resolutions so much? And one of the obvious answers is, we don't have the self-motivation to continue when things get hard. As a matter of fact, I think the statistic was only 9% of resolutions that get made get followed through on. And almost everybody, I think the number was like 56%, don't follow through after the first week, and then the numbers just plummet after that. So what I thought would be kind of cool is to talk about the top 10 New Year's resolutions that people make, according to the internet, and how we can maybe apply some self-motivation or some resilience to make those things happen. So the first, number one, is always weight loss. People set New Year's resolutions to lose weight, and I can speak from experience on that one. It's hard. It continues to be hard. It's always hard, but there's a couple of things you got to think about when it comes to losing weight. Is that, if you set a goal to lose 10 pounds, what happens when you lose those 10 pounds? Did you go back to the way you were before? That's the hard part, is you have to look at it and say, well, if I'm going to live a life where I want to be a certain weight, that requires me to have a lifestyle that would allow me to have that certain weight. And that would mean that I would have to, do the math and understand what is it like to, burn 3,500 calories every day and only consume 2,000 calories. Is that enough caloric intake to meet my needs? Am I in a caloric deficit enough that's going to allow me to get to the weight that I want to be at? And then how am I going to maintain that weight? So a lot of it, just dropped something there. A lot of it is thinking about sustainability, lifestyle, versus just setting a goal to lose 10 pounds. Because a lot of that's water weight. When you lose 10 pounds rapidly, the numbers are actually 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. And to be in a caloric deficit of, even 100 calories a day for a month, that's a hard thing for most people to manage and maintain. But to make it a lifestyle choice, that's how you're going to get to sort of your target weight and then maintain that target weight. So that's why it's hard. Being resilient just means you're learning from all those lessons and mistakes that you make when it comes to diet and exercise, and understand that you can't outrun a bad diet. So, managing that weight goal is more about what you eat than it is about what you do exercise-wise. So if you're looking to start a weight loss goal for New Year's, you might want to consider it as a food thing versus an exercise thing, and then look at how do I maintain that healthy lifestyle, that healthy balance with eating and exercise. Know your numbers, and when you make it a lifestyle choice, it tends to be something that is more sustainable. Now, the second thing on the list is sleep better. Again, if you want to be able to sleep better, you have to be able to set yourself up for success, and a lot of that has to do with routine. So make sure that you're not getting screen time with any devices an hour before you go to bed. The one thing that I found helps really well is, have a dark room. Try not to think about work or anything that's super on your mind in the last hour before bed. My routine is I do a 10-minute meditation just to sort of control my breathing and try to think about just doing one thing, get my brain focused on doing one thing. And when I sort of do that, I clear my brain out. I allow myself to get my head in a framework that says, hey, I'm about to go to bed. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about things that are still in my mind. So I write stuff out if it's on my mind, so I won't forget about it in the morning. I just allow my brain to settle down. So, just doing that one thing, having some routine before you go to bed, allowing your brain to settle down, do a little breathing exercise, a 10-minute meditation if you'd like. Doing that is going to really help to help you achieve better sleep throughout the night. But there's a great book out there by Dr. Greg Wells. It's called The Ripple Effect, and he's got a great section in there about sleep, better sleep techniques, better sleep habits. I'll leave a link for that in the description below if that's something you're challenged with. And Greg, there's a whole host of techniques you can use to try to achieve better sleep. The next thing was spend more time with family. So there's a lot of people. Oh, check out the birds behind us. I don't know if you can see all that. Big flock of birds just went by. Oh, yeah, they're all right behind us there in the vineyard, doing their thing. Spend more time with family. That's kind of a fun one, because I'm not going to say that we all have to spend more time with our kids or our relatives, but I will say as your kids get older and they move out, you have to start appreciating and valuing the time you do spend with them. I try to do that by being present with them when they come over. Oh, I don't know if you can see those birds. They're just going nuts over there. Yeah, tons of birds in here flying around doing something in the vineyard. I don't know what the heck they're doing over there, but yeah, my big secret there is if you want to build a better relationship with your adult children, recognize they have choices. They can choose to come and see you or not. And if you choose to be present when they do come to see you, put all your other stuff away, prioritize them, you will have a better relationship with your kids. Ask open-ended questions, get them talking, and unless they ask for your opinion, don't give it. That's been my experience. My kids tend to spend more time with me because I'm a sounding board for them. A lot of times they just need to vent, and they don't know who to do that with, and they know they can do that with me, and if I don't offer my opinion, they'll talk to me more. When they want my opinion, and I ask them, do you want my opinion or you just want me to listen? If they just want me to listen, I do everything I can to keep my mouth shut, and I'll let them talk away, and they come back more often. So be present with your kids if you want to have a better relationship and spend more time with your family. The next thing on the list was drink more water. That sounds like an obvious one, but yeah, drink more water simply means I don't drink enough water. I know that. I should be hydrating myself from the second I get up in the morning, and I don't. I should do more of it, but I don't. So I try to make a habit of trying to drink 2 or 3 glasses of water, while I'm working throughout the day. I try to get a glass of water into me before I get up and exercise in the morning. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. At least, I think when you're aware of a situation, aware of a problem, that's a great starting point to be able to solve the problem. So drinking more water is simply a habit, a choice. And I talk about habits in my 30-day self-motivation challenge, and I'll put a link to that in the description and a follow-up after this video. But what you have to do is you got to make it obvious. So have that glass of water on your desk and just keep refilling it throughout the day. All right, which direction do we want to go in now? Hey, Ralph, let's go this way. Let's come back this way. Saving money, that's an easy one for me. Saving money is easy because the easiest way to save money is forced savings. Create a forced savings account, go to the bank tomorrow, say I want to take 5%, 10% right off the top every month of my paycheck and put it into a forced savings account. That is the easiest thing to do because it's one action, you do it once, you'll get used to not having that money to spend, and you'll thank yourself down the road, a year down the road, 10 years down the road, 30 years down the road. If you're young enough and you're going to retire in 30 years, you will thank yourself for doing that and starting that habit, guaranteed. Give compound interest the opportunity and the chance to do its thing, and just taking the money off the top is like exercise, right? I exercise in the morning because I know I won't have the energy or the desire to do it at the end of the day. So same thing with savings. If you think you're going to save money at the end of the month, you won't have any money left over to save. But if you take it right off the top, you make X amount of dollars every month, take 5%, 10%, whatever it is, put that into a forced savings account that you can't touch, and that's going to be your future as far as your financial freedom goes. There used to be here in Canada a life insurance company that said it was called Freedom 55. And back in the day, we used to have something called whole insurance, which was a savings plan along with an insurance policy. And the idea was the Freedom 55 was buy term insurance and invest the difference that you would have otherwise put into a whole life insurance policy. But it was a forced savings account. It forced you to save money so that at 55 you'd be able to retire. The concept works. Most of us don't do it. We went from whole life insurance policies, which cost a lot of money, but it was forced savings and gave you an investment vehicle to, on top of insurance, to term insurance, which really put the onus on people to save money and direct those savings whichever way they wanted to. And most people just spent the money. So easiest thing to do as far as saving money is create a forced savings account at the bank and put that money away right off the top, and you'll thank yourself later. Travel more. I love the idea of travel. Every time we travel to Europe, I always say, why haven't we done this early in our lives? But here's the thing. Things have changed. We now live in a world where it's not everybody can afford to buy a house, which makes things difficult. So people are prioritizing how they save and spend their money differently. Ralph, let's go down here. People are just prioritizing how they save their money differently. If they're going, well, I can never afford to buy a house, therefore I'm going to save my money in a forced savings account and have another forced savings account that is my travel money. That's the easiest way to travel more, is to say, like, don't travel on your credit card. Don't use retail debt to pay for your vacations and your travel. Just create a second forced savings account and say, that's my travel account. And maybe you save enough so that you or your partner or whatever your situation might be have enough money to take 1 or 2 trips a year. But again, forced savings will allow you to enjoy that vacation that much more. And if you're not saving for a house, maybe that's what you're saving for to enjoy your life. This is not financial advice. This is just strategies to help you do. If your goal is to travel more, forced savings account help you save money to travel. Okay. Oh, decrease waste. I get that. We all want to consume less, have less packaging, I suppose, in our lives, so that there's less garbage out there to go into landfills. I don't know if you can see the birds are all flying over there doing their thing because we're scaring them around the vineyard. Ralph's down there ahead of me scaring the birds. I don't know if you can see him down the laneway. Oh, there they are. They're all Ralph is scaring them. They're all just in flight. Look at all the birds, Ralphie. Look at all the birds. Holy smokes, look at all those birds. Yeah. This is some kind of fun, eh, Ralph? Yeah, so packaging and waste. Hey, we're all about the environment these days. We're more aware of packaged goods and the amount of waste that creates and the garbage that creates. So, we're all doing our thing, I think, to recycle. And I don't have a lot to say about this one. My wife does all the recycling in her house. She sorts the garbages and I take them out. Just look behind me up here. I don't know if you can see these birds. They're just going insane up here as Ralph and I walk through the vineyard, which is kind of cool. So yeah, as far as waste goes, I suppose maybe buy in bulk and break down your garbage more. I don't know how. I don't have a comment for that one. That's just on the list of top 10 things that people want to make a resolution about. So have less waste. Get organized. That's always a good one for the new year. I will say this: if you want to feel better about yourself in the new year, about what you're doing, a new habit you might be doing, for me, I always sort of clean up my office, clean up all my tasks at the end of the year, and I start with a fresh new slate. That includes doing simple things like dusting my desk, which I do on a regular basis, but I want to start the new year off the right way, just feeling really good about where I am. So getting organized, getting all your office workspace cleaned up so that you don't have a pile of things to come back to at the end of the Christmas break, if you've got a Christmas break, or coming back to a clean slate is just something that's super helpful for me. It helps me get in the right frame of mind so that I can move forward really productively in the new year. So I've already done that. I've cleaned up my office. I've got myself in a situation where I'm excited and ready to go for the new year. We've got this 30-day challenge we're doing with videos for 30 days to help people learn how to become self-motivated. I think that's going to be a huge thing for our channel because it's all great advice that's going to help you get to where you need to be that much sooner. And bear with me 2 seconds because I know what that noise was now. My garbage litter bag for the dog fell off. So I'm just going to put that in my pocket and I'll deal with that later. All right. Where are we on the list? Volunteer more. Well, I'll tell you this. I've done volunteering and it's been really rewarding. But the volunteering that I do has been for things that I'm really passionate about, which have been triathlon over the last few years. I've been a race director for the Pan Am Games, for Ironman Muskoka, for the Toronto Triathlon Festival many times. And some of those events are paid for me. Some of them are just simply volunteer. And every time I do those events, it's awesome because I get to meet new people who share a similar passion. I get to show people how to do what I do so that in turn, I'm sort of creating a legacy of knowledge that helps people run these events more smoothly in the future, because I'm not going to be doing it for the rest of my life. But I love the idea of volunteering. I don't know if you can see all those birds behind me, but they are just going super crazy here. I don't know if you can see all that. It's just like, it's amazing walking through here and seeing all the birds just kind of bombing around. I apologize for the bumpy video. So yeah, volunteering can be super inspiring for yourself. Makes you feel really good that you're doing good things. The volunteering that I do tends to sort of last for a year because there's lots of planning involved, security involved, and all those sorts of details that have to get worked out in training. But you know what? It's all good experience. And the worst thing that could happen is you get all that experience and then you just stop. You got to pass the baton on. That's the legacy piece of volunteering, is not only are you giving up your time and learning skills, but now you're sharing those skills with other people who are coming in behind you. So great idea to start volunteering more, but think of it as a legacy where you can learn, transfer those skills to somebody else. That's how I think volunteering should work. You're helping improve, you're leaving a situation better than the way you found it. So if you found it with no skills whatsoever, this might be an opportunity to create some learning for people who are coming in behind you. And the last one here, attend a networking event. I love networking events. I love going to trade shows. I love talking to people about what I do for a living. I love meeting new people. And I often say, if you want to do a networking event, I'm going to tell you right now, get onto LinkedIn. Treat LinkedIn like it's a trade show, like it's a networking event. And the way that when you go to a trade show, most people go and stand in their booth. If you're like working at the trade show, they stand in their booth, they sit behind a table, they wait for people to come to them. That's not a successful strategy. The most successful strategy to work a trade show is to go, see all those birds taking off. The most successful way to work a trade show is to go, set up your booth, put your table at the back of the booth, and then stand on the edge of the aisleway in front of your booth and greet people, say hello to people, talk to people, share stories with people. Don't try to sell them on stuff. Share stories, ask them questions. I remember I was working for the Triathlon Ontario. They had sent me to the Toronto Marathon to talk about, people becoming triathletes, talk to all the runners. And inevitably somebody would say, oh, I'd love to do triathlon, but I hate the idea of open water swimming. And I'd say, yeah, I used to feel the same way. But then one day I decided to get in the water, and that's when I discovered I really didn't know how to swim. But I had signed up for it. I'd signed up for my first triathlon. I had made a commitment. I had to figure this thing out. And I kept going back. The same way I started with running, I took the same approach to swimming. I kept going back, going a little bit farther every time. And then the big problem was open water swimming was not like pool swimming. That was a whole new beast that had to be tackled. That was a whole new skill set, learning how to manage panic attacks in the open water. And once I had figured that out, then I was prepared for race day, when you get your goggles bumped off, you get kicked by another swimmer, somebody elbows you, swims over top of you, and you have strategies for panic attacks. And that whole idea of telling that story, before you know it, I look up and there's 30 people listening to this conversation. So I'm meeting many people in a networking event because I'm sharing a story, but it's not a story where I'm trying to sell them something. It's a story where I'm just sharing an experience, and you'll find that lots of people have either the similar experience or the similar fear, and they're really curious about how you overcame it. So by using LinkedIn as an example for a networking event, go find people who have a similar interest to you on LinkedIn, and then reach out in the comments and leave a really quality comment. And when you leave a quality comment and start a conversation, all of a sudden other people are reading those comments. This way, Ralph, come on. Other people are reading those comments, and all of a sudden people are chiming in, and you're creating a whole new conversation. And then, eventually you might meet that person offline. You might have a separate thread with them and connect with them. That's how I've got up to 15,000 connections on LinkedIn. Do I know them all personally? No, not really. But I've met them that way. I've had a conversation with these people. We've connected over something that was common or similar. And now at least I know when I reach out to my connections on LinkedIn, I know they're predominantly HR people, safety people, and salespeople. And if I stick to one of those three categories, I could generally have a really good conversation with somebody. Any one of those 15,000 people, I can put a conversation out to my network, and I know the kind of quality input I might get back. So networking, you want to be better at networking, get on LinkedIn, treat it like a trade show, get out in the aisle, meet people, and that's how I would approach networking. So if any one of those 10 things are part of your New Year's resolutions, all I can say is this: if you want to apply the VIP process to resilience to any of those things, do this. Create a vision for what you want to accomplish. That's your goal. Go out and assume the identity of the type of person who's going to reach that goal every day, and then look for the proof. Is the process you're using working or not? Once you figure that out, life's gold, man. So listen, if you like this video, give me a like, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below. You want me to walk in the vineyards more and just show you the seasons as they're changing? Happy to do that. You want to see more of me and Ralph cruising along here? Happy to show that as well. Have a great day wherever you are today. And again, in this video right up here, I'm going to be talking about my 30-day challenge to help you become more self-motivated. I'll put that in the link, and hopefully we'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.